Live. It looks like we're live. All right, we are live. Hangout is on air live currently. Perfect. Welcome, everyone. We're going to give it a minute or two, see if we get some viewers.
It looks like we're live. All right, we are live.
There we go.
Hangout is on air live currently. Perfect. Welcome, everyone. We're going to give it a minute or two, see if we get some viewers. It looks like we're live.
Okay. Baz?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
It looks like we're live.
It looks like we're live. It looks like it. Nobody. We got one viewer. Yay!
Oh, no.
Okay, we wrote, welcome to the next live, everyone. Please leave a comment and let us know that you are here so we could get the ball rolling as soon as we get a few people. We usually give it like a minute or two. Oh, Mike B, what's up, dude? Awesome. I'm so glad to have you back. You are you're a gentleman and a scholar, man. Thanks. We usually give it like a minute or two. We got 3 viewers now. All right, everybody start dropping comments so we know who the hell's in the room. We give it about a minute and 30 seconds roughly to figure out who's going to be in the room. That's a Mezco prints for you guys to look at. This is the Batman Beyond Mezco 112. We're going to be taking a very quick look at him. That was the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. Here is some other convention exclusives. You'll have the Punisher coming.
You have that? Did you get that?
I got the Punisher. That was the one that I was in the hospital, basically getting the cardiogram.
Everyone, you posted that picture, and then everyone thought like it sent you to the hospital.
Yeah, you're like,
trying to purchase.
The purchases aren't worth it, you know.
Yo, man, I know we all love to collect and stuff, but it's not worth your life.
And what you call it? You were like, nah, action figures is everything.
You gotta die. You gotta die. You guys started trolling.
Sexy Lamb writes, yo, what's up? And obviously, Jez, what's going on?
Yo.
Here now, what's up?
Yo.
Yeah, we're letting everybody drop a few comments. As we're warming up, you guys can obviously talk amongst yourselves, drop more comments and stuff. There's a Dawn of the Dead you're coming out from Mezco. Show you a couple of things.
I like that, man. I like that print.
Oh, yeah, just the print itself, right, is pretty cool.
It's like kind of trippy, 70s.
Now, for most of the orders, when you buy stuff from Mezco, they come with like these prints. Yeah, I'll just show these off while we're waiting for more people to join us. Dawn of the Dead. We got the Iron Man that's coming out. This thing is really crazy looking in person. It's bigger and it's totally die cast with light up features, so that's pretty cool. On the back, they got like a little, like when is it coming out, and a little description. They got this punk rock Joker coming out.
I ordered him.
Here's another Dawn of the Dead character.
From the first. What's he from? Okay, he's from Dawn of the Dead. I don't remember the movie too much.
The 2-pack they have come out. Here's the Hal Jordan with the different head sculpt because he's coming with 2 head sculpts now.
All right, does the lantern glow?
Yes, it does.
Wow.
Light up feature on the lantern, and he has the non-goateed head sculpt with the goateed and bald version. Dark Side Polystone figure. That figure is massive.
He's made of polystone.
Yeah, he's like a polystone plastic composite thing that they're doing with that figure, and the prototype of Cyclops, and he comes with multiple heads too and stuff. All right. Anyways, I think we've let everybody wait enough. It's 3 minutes in. We got to get the show started. Okay, so welcome everyone to the next episode of the Red Cup Review Live. Rob Banks. I'm joined by my co-host Baz. We'll say what's up.
What's up, guys?
We got a whole wide assortment of things to talk about today. There's been a lot of news, especially in the last 2 days, in the pop culture community. So we're going to get right to it. It looks like that they're redoing Star Trek, dude. It seems like that they're bringing back, I guess, the next generation. They have Patrick Stewart's redoing his role as Picard. What's up with that?
Yeah, it's a continuation and going forward towards the last timeline that was actually kind of like in the future, and instead of being a prequel. So we finally get like from where the next generation left off going forward, which is cool.
Yeah, no, that is pretty cool. I like the idea that they're actually taking the characters and pushing them forward. It's pretty cool. I was never that big of a Star Trek fan. I was always a Star Wars guy, but the next generation, just the characters themselves were cool. From a non-person fan that was necessarily a fan of that stuff, I got to say that I did enjoy the movies, especially the one with the Borg in it. The first
yeah, that's the best one from the Next Generation. True.
And didn't they get Whoopi? Yes, Frankie Fearless. Didn't they get Whoopi? Yes, I believe she was in the Next Generation. But Picard's back, which is
Everything's been a prequel. I'm kind of tired of prequels.
Yeah, I like the idea that they're pushing the stories forward. I think that prequels in general, they kind of limit the focus of what they can do, and they kind of have to. And it seems like then they'll just be tying things in for the sake of having to like match things and tie them in, as opposed to just giving us newer stories. Which is funny because I was talking to someone recently about the new Star Wars stuff, the new Star Wars movies, and what could possibly come after Episode 9. And basically, the conversation was, we only the person I was talking to only really cared about the Skywalker saga. Like the other spin-off movies are kind of cool, but I really only care about the Skywalker story. So they weren't necessarily maybe interested in doing another prequel series or something maybe that comes after the fact. And to me, if you're going to continue Star Wars, you have to go and do a time jump into the future, or you have to go like 1,000 years or 5,000 years in the past. And I think that's true with any type of story. If you're going to, it either has to be like a direct sequel like they're doing with Star Trek, where they're pushing the characters forward and showing you like where he ends up basically. Or in the case of Star Wars, if you're going to get away from the Skywalker saga, you got to kind of take the story forward. Or if you're not going to go that direction, you got to go like 1,000 years in the past to give us a rooting interest in some new characters, and not be able to say, well, we know what's coming. We know what happens to Darth Vader. We know what's going to happen here and who this character is going to meet.
It limits you, yeah. It limits you in the storytelling.
Even earlier adventures of Obi-Wan. I don't need to see what Qui-Gon was like when he was younger, because I know where that story's going to end up. I'd rather just them go Knights of the Old Republic or back even further.
All right, you went into Star Wars, so let's get back to Star Trek.
So, do you have anything to add to this? Because again, I'm not that big of a Star Trek guy. I just think that Patrick Stewart's awesome, and I think it's great that he's coming back. And I think we're going to probably see some other characters as well. I don't think they're just going to focus on him. This is very early in the development of this, but I think you're going to see guest appearances by other characters.
Oh yeah, like Worf.
That would have been my first pick too. If someone asked me, okay, who's going to be in the next series, you're probably going to wind up seeing Worf at some point. I think he was always a fan favorite.
You the what's it called? The newer Star Trek movies with J.J. Abrams, right?
Yeah.
Did you see that one? Yeah, I know you saw the first one, the second one. Did you see the third one, Star Trek Beyond?
Yes, I saw that one too. I didn't really remember that one too much though.
The last one?
Yeah, I don't remember it too much. I remember it being cool. I just don't really remember it like where I go, oh, okay, that's what happened in that movie. But I remember watching it and kind of just enjoying it. I didn't enjoy either one of them, though, as much as the first one.
Yeah, the second one, they made a big mistake on the casting with Cumberbatch as Khan.
Yeah, I know you didn't really like that too much. That was my first taste of Cumberbatch, and I wasn't really a fan of him until I saw him as Doctor Strange, and then I became a big Benedict Cumberbatch fan. I don't watch Sherlock. So, I mean, but I think he's cool. So if I ever went back and rewatched the movie, I'd be like, oh, there's Doctor Strange. He's cool.
Strange, yeah.
Michael B. asks, I heard Bruce Greenwood will be in it. Is that true? I don't know who Bruce Greenwood is. You might.
He played Pike, Captain Pike in the last Star Trek films.
So he's going to be in the new TV series, possibly? That's kind of weird.
That is weird. He's playing somebody else.
Oh yeah, okay, whatever. That would be pretty cool, I guess. Anyways, what else did he say? Okay, now we're switching tones back again. I'm not trying to interrupt the flow of the conversation here, but it seems that the people in the chat room are talking a little bit more about Star Wars. And one guy said that this is Rey's trilogy more than anything. I wish they continue with her. Do you think they should continue beyond Rey's story? I know we're jumping around a little here, but just for the sake of the flow of the conversation, do you think that for episode, let's say that they do like an episode 10, 11, and 12, do you think that they should continue in Rey's story? Do you think that they should completely just stop at the episodes there? Because you're going to get more Star Wars movies and maybe go, like I said before, like 1,000 years in the past, or do like a time jump to the future or something.
I heard that the actress doesn't want to do it past this series.
Oh, that's it? She's done?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Then they would have to probably. I want them to go in the past. I want them to do like a Knights of the Old Republic and give us. I don't know, some guys on some other podcasts I listen to are asking for like a Darth Bane story, or like I don't want to see the story of a Sith. I want to see like another set of heroes, and I really got a hard on for the cast of the Knights of the Old Republic video game. So I would like to see something in that vein, or some kind of mishmash with those characters, because I really like Revan, and I like who is that dark side user that had like the Kabuki mask that was able to drain the
Darth Nihilus.
Darth Nihilus, that's a really awesome, and that would look really great for a movie design.
Oh, RC says that my voice is coming in distorted and echoey.
Yeah, it's on my end too. I hear that it's like a little bit of a weird echoey effect. I don't know if that's because I'm broadcasting live now and you're on as a guest. It shouldn't happen that way. I'm gonna go and listen to some other YouTube live videos where they have multiple users, and I have a group I belong to that I could ask to kind of try to iron these out. We're also looking at going into using a different format, so we're not going to be broadcasting necessarily. We're going to be broadcasting YouTube live, but I'm also working on getting us a better camera program that allow us to maybe do this in 720 or 1080p, so you guys can get a really good look at the characters and stuff we're going to be showing, as well as better audio. Felix says maybe use headphones. He said that might work. I know the headphone thing with the mouthpiece, that might work a little better for you.
Yeah, I'll pick one.
Okay, cool. So if you want new stories or what, where do you want them to go?
With what, Star Wars?
Yeah, like where would you want? What are you looking for the next?
Dude, I'm so disillusioned with Star Wars. I really don't care right now. So
Star Wars isn't even on your radar.
Not really.
All right. Well, in episode 9, they're going to be bringing back Carrie Fisher, and they're going to be using untapped footage from the last movies. I think we mentioned this last week. But episode 9 is also going to have Billy D. We spoke about that last week as well. Is there anything you want to happen in this next movie? Like what you're expecting, or what you would hope happen?
Fixing Rey's storyline.
That's a little vague.
Well, basically fixing the character. I feel like they ruined her character. I mean, the main her whole identity was wrapped up in her origin, in her parents, and her lineage, and they left it open for the next movie to fill in. Unfortunately, another director came in. He had free reign to write whatever he wanted to, and he just kind of like he ended the thread right there. It was disappointing to me. I didn't care who her parents was at all. I mean, they're the ones who made that the big mystery in the first film. So then they come to the second film and go, "Oh, they were nobody."
I believe the director went on record saying that when he rewatched the original trilogy, he felt as though that the worst thing that Luke could have heard during The Empire Strikes Back was actually hearing that Darth Vader was his father in that moment. So what he tried to do was in the writing and in the directing process was try to mimic that the worst thing that Rey could have heard in that moment was that you were a nobody. So he had also thought about making Rey's lineage something, which it may still be. Like he's kind of just throwing this in JJ's lap, saying, "Here you go, figure it out, do what you want." But he felt that for that scene, in order to make it a powerful moment and make it, add a little bit more of elements of drama and stuff, he figured just screw it, let her parents be nobody, and let her kind of be in that same moment that Luke was.
I don't think it worked. I don't think it was successful. And then you have the problem of her being so overpowered, and it doesn't back up. It doesn't back up.
I mean, the whole idea that I don't see the overpoweredness with her. I didn't see that at all. I think that she's just as powerful as the next character. I mean, you've had Yoda, you've had Mace Windu as a powerful character. We've seen characters in video games pull Star Destroyers out of the sky and shit. So it didn't necessarily bother me that much. There was really nothing about her that bothered me at all. If she winds up being a nobody, so be it. Personally, I would like her to either be Kylo's sister, and it was like something that Leia never mentioned, or have her be Luke's daughter. And they're introducing, I think they signed on Kerry Russell to be a character, and there's rumors that she might play like Mara Jade or a variant. Yeah. I personally don't think that that's what's going to happen.
I mean, that's how they fix Luke, too. Like, they show like maybe Luke was like married or something and he lost his wife or something, or you know what I mean? And that's why he's so fucking suicidal. Excuse me for cursing. Suicidal, and he goes to a planet to just want to die because he suffered such loss and destroyed him. That's the way they can fix Luke from me.
Okay, if they were to do something like that,
yeah.
able to, I guess the Last Jedi would have more like a different meaning for you then.
Yeah, it was fiction. It's somewhat fiction. But I feel they dropped the ball. I mean, JJ set up all these mysteries in the first one, and then this new guy comes in and just kind of like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who Snoke is. It doesn't matter whose Rey's parents are.
It was really The Rock. It wasn't.
Like, I just waited how long was it? The wait between movies? 2 years or something? You know, and then like with even Luke, like they put him at the end of the movie. It was a good cliffhanger, and I was like, okay, fine. I was like, I'll wait till the next movie. They're gonna really do Luke good, and it was just disappointing for me. So, but also her power levels don't add up. They don't match up to the earlier films. I mean, Luke had a struggle to lift rocks, and we have her at the end of The Last Jedi lifting giant boulders. I mean, stuff that Yoda would have a problem with.
Right. They were just the people who rally against that, not rally against it, the people who say, okay, there's really no problem with that. The problem is that she could just, there isn't even a problem. She could just be really powerful. Maybe she's just a friggin' anomaly. Maybe when in my head canon, when Kylo Ren went into her head, a piece of him imprinted onto her.
No, that's official. That's canon. That she actually like downloaded his training.
Well, then there you go. I mean, you're already seeing her beat up a bunch of dudes with the staff and stuff, so she was a better fighter. She's a better fighter than Luke Skywalker is, like straight up. Like Luke was never really like much of a lightsabery type guy. At least in my head canon, he was more of like a Yodery type, which is why he went to the green lightsaber, right?
Well, exactly. She's so good and so talented, and she's better than the chosen ones. I mean, Darth Vader is born of the Force. His son is Luke. I mean, they should be the most talented, right? If they're of the Force, their grandfather is the Force. So it's like, all right, she's better than them. So who the hell is she? Like, give us some sort of lore.
I think the idea that when Snoke says darkness rises and then the light rises to meet it. So like, again, you're stuck in a situation where there needed to be balance of the Force, right? So Darth Vader had to be born of the Force, which I personally don't even think he was born of the Force. I think he was manipulated through the midichlorians. I hate that. I'm sorry. Apologize. He was manipulated through the Force. I refuse to acknowledge midichlorians by what's his face, Darth Plagueis. That's my headcanon, is that Darth Plagueis behind the scenes used the Force on a slave girl and created life like he's said to be able to do, and does it by letting Shimmy Skywalker become pregnant with the Force, basically, right? So then Vader comes. He has to bring balance to the Force. He wipes out all the Jedi because there has to be balance because the Jedi have been in power for 1,000 years, right? So he wipes everybody out, brings balance to the Force, and then you have the dark side reigning for so long, the Return of the Jedi, then the new Jedi Order comes up, Kylo Ren snuffs that out, so now you only have one Jedi basically left in Luke Skywalker. Once Luke cuts himself off from the Force, which could have happened at any time, it could have happened like 5 or 10 years before we see Rey, right? So now there's no avatar for the light. The light has nothing, and Kylo Ren and basically the Knights of Ren, if we're even going to see them again, and Snoke are running the dark side. So the light side of the Force now has to go, we have to correct this through the universe, and basically you get Rey, who's like the avatar of light, because she's the only one wielding the light side of the Force.
Okay, but you know what? I think, hold on, I think for the second movie in a 3-episode series, we're supposed to get some of these answers, and then that'll lead us into the third final film. I think holding off these answers until the third and final film, that's not good storytelling.
No, then and that I loved The Last Jedi, but I agree with you there in that there should have been some answers in this movie,
yeah,
and then some answers in the next movie. You could like in the last movie there was a lot of character development. It was really cool. What I thought that they did was cool, but you have like those mystery boxes from the first one, and it seems like you're going to get all the answers in the third movie, and I'm worried a little bit because the movie still has to focus on a bunch of different characters. You're not just going to get Rey this whole movie and Kylo. You're not going to be able to just wrap up their story. You still got Poe and Finn and I'm sure a new character or two. So I'm worried that they're not going to be able to give us all these answers and still have enough for the other characters to do. So I have a feeling that like Poe may get regulated to what Han was regulated to in Return of the Jedi, which was like kind of a minor role.
Right.
But then again, Empire Strikes Back was basically Han's movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you get half of that movie is him running around with Leia doing, you know, they're escaping from the Empire and character development with them. Just like in the second movie, this movie, you got Poe and his story with getting shunned and having to go through his character arc of becoming a leader. So maybe now in the next movie, they'll focus more on Rey and he'll be regulated to kind of the B team.
I think the new characters take too much away from the central characters. What's her name? The little plumber girl. Rose Tico. Rose Tico and General, what's her name?
Holdo.
Holdo?
Yeah.
They should have been they should have never been introduced into the movie. They took away from storytelling time from Luke and Rey and from development for what's his name? The Poe.
Yeah, well, I tell you what.
No, Poe had an arc. Poe's arc was to learn Poe's arc was to learn tactical retreat. That was his arc.
Basically,
not to be too headstrong and come.
He's got to be the general now. Obviously, Carrie Fisher's gone for real. So she's gone. Admiral Akbar's destroyed. Holdo's dead. Now you just got, you know, the 20 people that are left on the Falcon and whoever else decides to show up. Which I have a feeling that I know for a fact that what's his face is coming back. Now that JJ's back on the movie, Parkman from Heroes. I forget the actor's name.
Yeah.
Matt, right?
Yeah.
He's going to be making a return in the movie.
He's JJ's friend.
Pilot too. So I have a feeling that Poe is going to now become like Captain or General Dameron at this point because there's just no one left.
Or to think about Poe, he had to learn retreat, and everybody else was doing suicide runs.
Right.
You know that? Holdo and Tico were coming in doing suicide runs, and Poe had to learn how to back off. That was a little weird.
One thing I will say is that I didn't care for the Canto Bight stuff. They could have did without that. They could have just lessened that. To me, that was like fan service to people who like the prequels.
Yeah.
I've heard podcasts where guys were like, yo, my favorite part of the movie was the races with the horses through the town. It looked great. And the whole casino planet with all the weird aliens. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, that was the only part of the movie that once I saw the graphic of it, and I was like, wow, this looks too much like The Phantom Menace. I'm not interested in this. It wasn't terrible, but it was kind of terrible.
Yeah. What's his name? Who is the Puerto Rican guy that they found in the prison?
Oh, what's his Benicio del Toro's character?
Yeah. Why is he just sitting in there waiting to be found? And he could have broken out anytime he wanted to.
Yeah, whatever. That's not a plot hole to me. That's just like the guy is just maybe he's just an asshole, and that's what his thing is.
And how come only he could like hack into stuff? Meanwhile, in the other Star Wars movies, all it took was an astromech, a droid. I mean, R2-D2 was hacking everything in all 6 movies. Why do we need a human guy to hack into the Empire now?
Well, exactly. See, now that's where I agree with you, and that it seemed like that they needed something for Maz to do. They needed something for Finn to do, so they just kind of went with that. And what they could have did was just have Rose, R2, or BB-8 and Finn try to board the finalizer and just go with the droid hacking the systems and see if they could do like a suicide run in that way. Where it's not a suicide run, it's like a suicide mission. You know, cut out the whole Canto Bight thing. You would have saved 15 minutes. You could have did 7 minutes or to 10 minutes of them infiltrating, and then you could have got a little bit maybe more of Phasma as opposed to them just doing that standoff thing that they did.
Oh my God.
I like that fight.
Best character visually, and she's so beloved from freaking Game of Thrones. That actress, everybody wants to see her.
She's Boba Fett, bro. Like everyone loves Boba Fett. He's the coolest design character ever. Every freaking kid loves that armor. But
disappointed us with Boba Fett also.
You know, she's the new Boba Fett, bro. You're gonna have to like. I heard her book is really good. Just like you didn't know anything about Boba Fett until you read his books. So it is what it is, man. At this point, I'm just hoping that for the next one, although I like this one, I see what I wish we would have gotten in The Last Jedi. This is turning into a Last Jedi podcast. What I wish would have happened in The Last Jedi was that we would have gotten a lot more with Rey and Luke on the island learning about the mysteries of the Force. Like, they should have just given focusing on just Force mysteries.
That's what I was waiting for. He went to the first Jedi temple. I'm like, oh my God, we're going to get so much lore. We're going to learn more about the nature of the Force, how it works. And all Luke came up with was like, oh, they allowed Darth Vader to rise to power.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, dude. He just referenced the prequels. I was like, really? It wasn't their fault. They couldn't see shit.
Right.
You know, the Force was clouded. Yoda couldn't see it.
Not doing prequels. It's bad enough we have to argue over this movie. We'll do a whole episode in the future about our I don't know about collective hate for the prequels, but I can't stand those friggin' movies.
All right, so then let's talk about real quick about what we want to see happen, because that was the topic, one of the topics in 9. So fixing Rey, for me, it's fixing Rey, fixing that story, the mystery of who her parents were, why she had seemingly amnesia as to like she can't remember them. She wasn't that old in the vision that she had at Maz Kanata's place, right? She was how old? Looked like 7 or 8, or when she saw the vision, she saw the ship with her parents.
She's about 8. I'm thinking she might have got mind wiped. I mean, that might be another Force power we see. See, this is what I don't like about a lot of here we go back into the friggin' complaints thing. People like, we've never seen her do the things she does, like that Force FaceTime, and it's like in every movie you got to see the Force work in a different way. So I don't mind seeing new powers being used we haven't seen before. Maybe we're going to see a Force mind wipe.
Yeah, but from a chick who just learned about the Force 5 minutes ago, that's why there's problems there.
Right.
Spelling-wise, lore-wise. All right, so what would you like to see from Finn? I want to see Finn be a little bit more badass and stop being such a jokey type character.
Yeah, I hope so too. It would be nice to see him mature and be mature. You know, they're going to still give him his one-liners. He's still that semi-comic relief, somewhat relatable. I don't relate to him, but somewhat relatable of a person. And I want to see a lot more Kylo Ren. That's what I'm looking for. I think Adam Driver is the standout actor in this whole series. I want to see more of him and what makes him tick in his mind, because now that he's the supreme, there's no one for him to go to now. So it's only conversations for him to have with himself in his own mind and shit. Maybe we'll see him meditating and see some kind of crazy Force vision in his head or something. That would be pretty cool.
I heard there might be some flashbacks to Snoke and Kylo when he was younger.
That's possible. I'm cool with that too. But we also got to remember that running time. I don't think this movie is going to be any more than maybe 2 hours, 2.5 to 2 hours and 40 minutes. I think any more than that, they're not going to go for, because they're going to say that they need it. From a production standpoint, they need so many viewings per day in a theater, so they're going to try to probably cut it as short as possible.
So what about Rose Tico? What happens to her?
Whatever. You probably just see her in the background. I wouldn't mind I think we should see her, but I think we should see her in like the background, like working on stuff. Like, oh, she's over here.
Right.
Got the plans for this, and she's just like, hey, what's up? Says like 2 or 3 lines, and she's regulated to B team or even C team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We haven't taken a look at the chat in a while, so I'm going to go do a quick rundown through the chat. They said the throne room was awesome, which it was. It was very epic. I like Finn. I think he's already somewhat of a badass. He kind of is. I like him as a fighter. Then we heard a little bit about Kylo being kind of cool, but kind of a whiny brat. And I'm going to say this for the people watching right now, and for those that are going to catch this on the afterplay. Everybody thinks they're Vader, but they're really Kylo Ren. I'm just going to say everyone thinks that this badass that's silent and rolls up on people and is tough. And most of the time, behind closed doors, you're throwing your little temper tantrums like we all are. So I think he's a much more relatable character than Vader was. And in that way, I like him better than Vader in that way. I don't like him better than Vader in that way. I think he's more of a tangible, realistic type person.
I don't like him at all.
You don't like Kylo Ren?
Not one bit. Nothing about him do I like. He killed his father. I mean, no. There's nothing attractive. I want to like sometimes like I would fantasize if I was going to be a villain, I'd be like somebody Vader. There's something cool about Vader, you know. But even though he killed like a bunch of little kids, I don't know. I don't know. He's just too emo. He's too.
whatever.
And Patricide, I can't, I can't touch that. So
we are going to switch gears for a second. I want to do the. You want to do the giveaway from last week?
Yeah, sure. Let's do the giveaway.
All right. I already got the URL typed in here to this randomizer, right? Okay, so I'm going to click this button, and it's going to randomly pick somebody from the comments from last week, and then you can contact Baz on Facebook. He'll tell you that in a second. So I'm pressing the randomizer now. And all right, let's see. The raffle winner is, who the hell does that say? Bubble Fun. B-U-B-L Fun. B-U-B-L Fun is the winner. I hope this person watches this. Hooray! Yay! Thanks, Bubble Fun, for commenting.
Bubble Fun.
You can tell Bubble Fun about how to win this, whatever they're winning.
Yeah, Bubble Fun. Message me on Facebook Messenger. JV Baz, B-A-Z, and send me your address. I'll mail it. I'll mail the print out to you. The print of your choice. You have a choice between Guardians of the Galaxy and Age of Ultron.
Yeah, the prints that are behind him right now, by the way, you can see him right over his shoulder. Okay, so we got a request for the Venom trailer. What did you think?
You first.
Me first? It was Wolverine Origins. That's what I thought when I saw this new trailer. I am totally not interested in this movie at this point. I thought the first trailer was eh. This trailer was, as soon as I saw Giant Venom fighting Riot or whatever his name is, fighting Little Venom, I was like, I'm done. I have no reason to watch this movie. I don't like the fact that Spider-Man's not involved. To me, you cannot have you can't have Venom without Spider-Man. Period. I don't care. I'm going into my little closed box. I'll probably watch it on cable. I'm not going to be doing a review of this movie. I'll catch it on, I'll catch it on something after the fact. I don't like this trend of two characters that look alike fighting each other all the time. It's a problem I had with the Logan movie. I didn't like the Wolverine versus Wolverine fight. I thought that should have been Sabretooth. We're not talking about Logan. I don't care about Venom fighting another Venom-looking character unless it was Carnage, and that wouldn't even make any sense. So I'm kind of glad they're not using Carnage. I think it's stupid that Spider-Man, it has nothing to do with this movie, even though it takes place in the Spider-Man universe too. He doesn't have the spider on his chest to make up for that, so I get it. He's just an alien with the big eyes. But that's not Venom. That's like having a Punisher movie without the skull, Dolph Lundgren. So no interest here at all.
Really?
Yeah, no, and I hate to be the.
Isn't it adapting the Lethal Protector series from the comics?
Yeah, I mean, I read it back when I was.
Like symbiotes, right? And
yeah, multiple symbiotes that he has to take on.
So yeah, it's an adaptation. Yeah. I don't have that. Like, I already came to terms that this was going to be a movie that's like in its own kind of separate universe. They may still like tie it into Spider-Man somehow. That's still open. We don't know yet.
Right.
But for them to just, I already came to terms with that because I know Sony owns the character and Marvel doesn't have it right now. But I still wanted to see a Venom movie. So like the whole Spider-Man thing, I've already, mentally I'm cool with that. And besides, when I left comics when Spider-Man like had the symbiote suit. Okay. And then when I came back to comics, I discovered Venom. And Venom was already kind of like independent of Spider-Man at this point. So I never really read him like where he fought, he fought Venom, and Venom was kind of like his own guy, his own character anyway. So that's my, you know what I mean?
I have the same problem with this that I have with the Joker movie from 2 weeks ago when we were talking about, is that I don't have any rooting interest in rooting for a villain, and I'm tired of hearing about this anti-hero nonsense. Mm. I understand the characters have changed over time. Like Venom is now like, I want to see Venom as the villain before I see him as the friggin' hero. I don't want to root for this guy in this movie and then see him in the Spider-Man movie trying to kill my hero and then have to root against him. That doesn't make any sense. I want to see him as the villain and then see him as the hero. That just, to me, it makes more sense going in that direction than in the reverse direction.
Outside circumstances that didn't allow for that. I mean, you saw him in Spider-Man 3, and I mean, Topher Grace was terribly miscast as Eddie Brock. So that didn't really work out too well.
That whole movie was Spider-Man 3 was, and I enjoyed watching parts of Spider-Man 3. Parts.
Right, me too.
But yeah, I don't know. The Venom trailer. If you don't have anything else to say about the Venom trailer, I don't really. This is.
I mean, and you have Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy. Everyone loves Tom Hardy, and rightly so. He's a great actor.
Tom Hardy, awesome. You got Tom
Hardy.
He's in another 10 years he'll be at Liam Neeson status, in my opinion. So, he's awesome. So I mean, I
symbiote it could stand on its own. It doesn't need Spider-Man.
Yeah, I guess. All right. Speaking of movies and new movies coming out, did you hear that DC's probably toying around with doing a Black Adam movie now?
Oh, come on, man. Stop.
Right. Exactly. Same point that I'm going to have. They have The Rock as still playing Black Adam, and now they're toying around with the idea that they have a Shazam movie. They're going to make a Black Adam movie now, possibly, and then have them cross over and fight each other. And it's like, look, I don't need to see Black Adam in his own movie because Black Adam is
his own movie. It's only because he's The Rock that he could possibly do some numbers. But that character of Black Adam is cool, but it's not comparable to Venom. Venom has his own series. I mean, Venom could carry his own title in the comics. Black Adam can't.
Right, but they're trying to use The Rock's star power,
right?
And that's the problem I have is that the Rock isn't going to be playing. If they do that, The Rock ain't going to be playing Black Adam as a villain. He's going to be like this tragic person that eventually turns into this evil dictator, and that's not Black Adam. Okay, I don't have to like this guy. This guy tears people's heads off on live TV, and he's like, "Stay the hell out of Kahndaq." That's the Black Adam I want to see fighting the good, happy, big red cheese, man. And I think The Rock is perfect for the role look-wise, but I think because The Rock is he's such a childlike, every kid wants to go see the new Rock movie, so they have to have some kind of. It's going to be the Scorpion King all over again.
No. We're seeing Black Adam ever on the screen, so I kind of want to see him evil first too. I agree.
He needs to be evil Black Adam, and then I could feel sorry for him when he's like, "Oh, but you don't understand. This is what happened to me. What turned me evil." But I don't need to see him turn evil because I don't think Black Adam can carry his own movie. The Rock is going to carry the movie based on star power and not necessarily the character itself. Like Black Adam to me is an awesome villain, but he's awesome once again when Shazam or Superman is punching him in the face.
Yeah, Shazam 2 is new to movies. We've never seen a Shazam movie, so I would like to start off with Shazam versus Black Adam. We need to see that.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, not to change gear real quick, but I want to say real quick that today is Starlee Quinn's birthday. For those of you that don't know who Starlee Quinn is, she was a pioneer in the action figure collecting community back a few years ago, and she created her own pages that now exist on Facebook in her honor. And she died last year of cancer, and she was very young. I believe she was 30. I think she was like 35 or 34 or 35. And I want to dedicate this show to her because today's her birthday. Just so happens to be her birthday, and she kind of got me also kickstarted with the with doing a lot more interaction with people on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. I had a few conversations with her in the PMs, and she was a nice person. So this goes out to you, Starlee, and happy birthday. Not to get too morbid, but to continue in this type of a trend, last Sunday we had the death of 3 wrestlers died in one day.
Yeah, Nikolai Volkov was one.
Yep, Nikolai Volkov died last Sunday. Grandmaster Sexy from Too Cool, who's actually Jerry Lawler's son, he died. And a guy by the name of Brickhouse Brown, who was pretty famous. I don't have any knowledge of him too much, but I know he was famous in the AWA days. And he more famous later on for doing YouTube videos like this where he would tell old school stories about wrestlers and stuff. So Nikolai Volkov died of dehydration. He was rushed to the hospital a few days later. He passed away. Grandmaster Sexy was actually on the run from the police during a car chase and eventually busted for petty larceny. It was like he stole something or something had to do with him stealing things, but it was under $1,000. And he was in the process of a car chase with the police. He was on his way to his house, and they caught him. They brought him to jail, and he hung himself. So that's pretty.
What the hell? Come on.
I know it's crazy. What
Jerry Lawler's kid, right?
You know, it seems like every few years. First of all, the Nikolai Volkov was only 70 years old, so he wasn't even really that old.
Mm.
And from the trauma that these guys really put themselves through, like when every time someone says, "Oh, wrestling's fake," all these wrestlers ended up banged up, brain damage. Let's not even get into what Chris Benoit, what ended up with him.
Oh, yeah.
Because now it's coming out that because of the brain trauma he had from doing all those off the top turnbuckle headbutts that he was doing, that he had the mental capacity, I think they said, of like a 7-year-old or like a 6-year-old at that point. His brain just devolved. So, you know, it's sad to say that that's a career that, you know, isn't really like, when I was younger, I wanted to be a wrestler. I wanted, I'm going to be like, you know, the Ultimate Warrior one day and all that.
I think especially more of the old school wrestlers.
Yeah.
The new guys don't get as.
Well, Grandmaster Sexy was from the 90s, from Too Cool, not the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, and he wasn't old at all. He was in like his mid 40s.
The old guys really.
I know, they just beat the hell out of each other. They were also banging it up and doing steroids and all kinds of stuff back then. Yeah, jumping into a steel chair or a face table actually hurts. Yes, it most certainly does. For those that think it's fake, I got into a conversation with somebody recently that was like, "It's fake. It's fake." It's like, oh, the outcomes are fake. The guys are actually getting hit in the face with the chairs and stuff. It's ridiculous. Okay, yeah, sending love to WWE and the wrestlers that, especially Jerry Lawler, losing. There's got to be nothing like losing a kid, and I'm sure they may have been estranged from each other. I don't know. I'm not going to make speculations on this, but you know, it's got to be a sad thing for him. Okay, let's turn this around and get back into some good news. Infinity War was released on 4K this week, and it was the best-looking movie I've ever seen.
Hold on, I just looked. You know, we gotta find out what Iron Sheik had to say about this, because he used to be in a tag team with Volkov.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. He was. I didn't even think about that. He's got to have a couple of live videos on YouTube. So after this, go watch Iron Sheik. Go type in him and see if he has any shoots on him or anything to say about him, because
he's hysterical.
He is hilarious. I mean, I hope that, you know, they didn't have a falling out or anything, because it would be a shame that he would just spend the entire video just kind of bad-mouthing him. Like, that's not something I'm interested in hearing. But, I mean, you know, it is what it is. All
right, so 4K. 4K Infinity War.
It's amazing. I bought it on Vudu. I didn't decide to go to the store and get the 4K version, although the reason why I wasn't buying Blu-rays anymore, 4K movies for that matter, is that because I was told by somebody I very much trust that's into this type of stuff, when you buy 4K movies, you're not necessarily getting the digital download code for 4K. So you'll buy the 4K movie, get the digital download code, and then it's in Blu-ray 1080p format. But because of a lot of blowback over the last few movies and the fact they've been doing this all along, now when you buy the movies, especially the Marvel movies, you're going to be getting the digital download code in 4K anyway. So if you want to buy it in 4K and have a physical disc, you'll have the code to get it on 4K on Vudu anyway, or Movies Anywhere, or whatever it is you type your stuff into, Fandango or whatever. So that's good news.
So you watched the whole thing?
Watched the whole thing. Eyeballs bleeding. Yes, Chris Rain. Eyeballs are still sore. It was the best looking. I've never seen a true 4K movie before, and this being the most updated one, even the wife was like, "This is incredible! Like, the movie looks like ridiculously good." So for those of you that don't have a 4K TV, I suggest going out and getting one, and then buying Infinity War and watching it, because it's really outrageous. And that movie, I like.
Some tidbits on the movie. The Red Skull actually escaped the Soul Dimension.
Really? Where did you hear this?
Yeah. It was an interview from the Russo brothers they made recently. The Red Skull has actually escaped the Soul Dimension when Thanos took the gem.
Wow.
So he's out now.
Oh, so you might see him now.
You might see him again. And then also, remember when Banner had trouble with the Hulk not transforming, not coming out?
This is something I want to talk about, because when I had seen the movie, I thought that the Hulk was just scared. And I guess they're back saying that he really wasn't ever scared. I don't know. To me, it doesn't really make sense from the way it was portrayed in the film itself. But go ahead. Tell them what the news is.
Yeah, no, it was mostly about him using control in their relationship, taking control of Banner.
He didn't want to relinquish control of the Banner and have Banner be in charge of when he can come out and when he doesn't.
Exactly, that's what it was about.
You know, but Hulk's a petulant child. He's going to let all the Avengers die and the whole universe get destroyed because he doesn't want Banner to tell him when he can or can't come out.
I didn't think of that. The Hulk is like Luke from the last time.
That's it. Avengers now sucks, right? Let me get this.
You messed up the Infinity War for me now.
No, I like the idea. Personally, I like the idea better that he got his ass handed to him so bad that he kind of retreated. But whatever. No one wants to believe that the Hulk would be scared of Thanos. I mean, he got his ass beat pretty friggin' bad. But whatever. I hope we see him in the next movie. I hope he rages out, and I hope he beats the hell out of everybody. You know, that would be cool.
So what happens at the end of the next movie? Like, you think they're gonna is the Marvel in the movie going to continue as was, or are they going to bring in a whole new group?
I think they're just going to bring in a whole new group. I think that there's going to be other character deaths in this next movie that are going to possibly be more permanent. I think you're going to see other characters retire. I think you're going to see the time gem change the storyline of the Marvel Universe so that it opens up the doors for everybody else that they need to not pay $50 million a movie for.
True.
You know, it's just that I'm look, everything Marvel does is great. I'm just not really interested in these ancillary characters as much, which is why it's a perfect time to get Doctor Doom and the Fantastic Four and the X-Men.
It is a perfect time, just in time, right?
You know, it's right. It's like, oh, just wait till Marvel runs out of ideas and these characters, these actors don't want to do these movies anymore. DC's really going to come back. We're DC guys. Marvel's like, oh, hold my beer.
I just hope Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. stays that character forever, as long as he can. I hope they don't kill him.
60 in another 5 years or so. So I don't know how much more of him you're going to get. I mean,
it just goes on green screen now.
At this point, though, I could see them going even a step further and paying him like $10 million just to become like the new voice in the head of the next Iron Man. Like they'll bring in like that chick from the comics now who's Iron Man and have him do like the radio in her head type stuff.
That ain't gonna work.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna work. Well, look, Marvel's made a lot of things work that I didn't think were gonna work. I really enjoyed Ant-Man and Ant-Man 2. So, you know. Yeah. But
they're classic characters we grew up with. It doesn't.
I think that Tony Stark is possibly more synonymous with any superhero character than any other actor at this point. When I think of Superman, I still think of Christopher Reeve. When I think of Wolverine, I guess I think of Hugh Jackman. Although he's still not my personal Wolverine, he's did a damn good job, and he's been in for 100 friggin' years. But I don't think that Tony Stark is really ever going to be replaceable with the Robert Downey Jr. Like they really that launched the entire Marvel universe, basically.
Just when you think you're like, yeah, okay, he's done enough movies, I'm done with him. Like you see him in a new one, you're like, oh my god, you remember why you freaking love this guy so much.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, I'm gonna want him going back and watching all of his movies that I've already probably seen that he acted in, and just rewatch all that stuff like this. Chances are. We'll watch that. We'll watch Only You. We'll all the hits. Weird Science.
when Cap shows up to save Vision, tell me you don't get goosebumps.
Yeah.
Right?
That was awesome. That was really
when I went to the theater, the whole theater erupted. It was crazy. Yeah, and when Thor showed up.
Oh, that was
saved
awesome. Thor shows up at the end and he just goes friggin' apeshit and starts blowing everything up. That was great. I asked her her favorite was in the movie, and she really enjoyed this one. She said that she didn't really ever enjoy Thor that much. She was just like, okay, he's there and he's cool, but she really enjoyed him this time, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, she thought it was really well done.
Because he was funny.
Yeah. Then there's your reason why they keep putting
like an interesting backstory, and then I like seeing the guy from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, there you go. So that was pretty.
Segue. Here's Thanos.
Oh, nice.
SH.
That's the SH figure arts?
Yes, and he's snapping his hand right there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, great sculpt. He feels great. I mean, these figures are a little bit more pricey, but the articulation is just beautiful.
Is he?
It feels awesome. Yeah, weight to it, but it's not stiff. You know, you don't feel like you're gonna break it.
Pull up.
You don't feel like you're gonna break an appendage or something. You know.
That's actually a pretty damn good looking Thanos.
Yeah. So he's awesome. I just got him in. I also got what you call it, the Hulkbuster 2-pack, Hulkbuster Iron Man with also the Hulk. There you go.
The 10 years of Marvel.
10 years. Marvel line. They actually gave the Hulk like what you call it, like dark eyes to make him look like he's deranged, like from the film, from Age of Ultron. And I got the X-Men wave from Marvel Legends.
Oh, you got it in?
Yeah, I got everything in this week, yesterday. So this is the Build-A-Figure Apocalypse.
Nice.
Yeah, they look great, man.
What's your favorite out of the wave?
What, from X-Men?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I have to say Wolverine, because he's the best Wolverine we've got.
Nice. That's cool. I heard from Face that the Sabretooth is really cool. He got Sabretooth. He was like, oh, Sabretooth.
They're all great. They all look good.
That's a good wave, man. It's got a lot of really cool characters too. Like it's got a lot of must-haves in that wave.
Yeah, I mean you could build a team with that wave.
Yeah. There's
Like,
Psylocke in it too, right?
Who?
Psylocke?
Yeah, Psylocke. Let me show you Psylocke. Yeah, I mean you also have Storm with the Mohawk.
Oh, that's cool.
So this is Psylocke. And let me show you Storm. 80 Storm with punk rock hairdo.
That's cool. I like the lightning effects.
So now I have to get that Jim Lee Cyclops.
Oh boy.
You got the Professor X coming, I think, next year.
Yeah, I know. So you'll be able to do like the whole cartoon team basically, or like the '90s team, either the Jim Lee team.
We really do need what you call a Beast.
Yeah, an updated Beast. That old Marvel Legends Beast is so good, though. That might be like one of Toy Biz's best.
It is. It is really good. It actually holds up. Yeah. But I want something that looks more like Perez's Beast from the Avengers when he used to draw it.
That's cool. Yeah, exactly. With the shorter, he has like the Wolverine looking.
Yes.
Thing.
Yeah.
Short. Yeah. On my end, I got the Batman Beyond from Mezco. I'm going to do a quick up close look on that. And I'll be doing a review on him shortly, so we're not really reviewing on him. The pants won't rip. They stretch pretty good, and the colors are really nice. Some people are saying that this is the best Mezco to date. I disagree. It should have kept it a Terry McGinnis head, which it doesn't. Those are two different versions of him snarling and non-snarling face.
Do those wings bend at all?
The wings, no, the wings are stiff and they're sharp.
Sure.
I seen somebody online cut themselves on this. That like a guy poked his finger. Here's the box. Front and back, this was the Mezco San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. And it came with this thing in the mail, the Mezits. Mini Mezit thing. The reason why this is kind of important is that Mezco right now is holding a competition. Anybody that, contest rather, anybody that buys a Mezco, anything from them pretty much is going to get one of these things in the mail. And I didn't even open this yet. When you open it, there's a different, they come in different colors. There's the generic version, which means here you go, here's a keychain. And then the other colors are supposed to come with a 4-digit code written on the bottom of their foot. And what you do is you go online, you put the Mezit, Mezitz, on the Mezco website. You type that into the search bar. You go to buy that figure, but there's zero. It's like it doesn't cost anything. You put that in your cart. You enter the code at the bottom, and you get entered into a contest to win either Batman Beyond or the Special Ops Punisher or one of their Living Dead dolls. I think there's 4 different things you can win. So I'm going to open this now in front of everybody and see if I won anything or if I just got a regular old keychain.
I think if you get the black one, you could win the new Punisher.
The new who?
Punisher?
Yes, that was for the smoke. It's called the smoke version or something. You gotta be kidding me. What is this? This thing is like sealed in, vacuum sealed in here, dude.
Use your teeth.
Yeah. Same opening. Do we have like a nice lid on here?
You really can't open it?
No, I can't open this.
It's a tooth like I did.
I can't. Yeah, rip it. Use your teeth. Break your teeth. All right, as I'm opening this, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about the new Spider-Verse trailer, which was a comment last week. Go watch.
Let's read some comments, man. It's built up. And there's so many of them. I want more Strange.
I got it open.
Oh, come on.
Here's my teeth, and I got it.
Thanos feels silky. Michael B says I geek out at that Thor scene.
Did you get any of the DC Essentials? If so, what are your thoughts? I did not get any of the DC Essentials. I'm probably not going to pick any of them up, and this is going to sound mad elitist of me, but unless DC Collectibles is going to send them to me to review, I'm not picking them up. I do have a connection with them, and the lady did tell me to keep harassing her and emailing her, except at this point I kind of feel like lady, like I'm not going to keep emailing you, but I may get them in, and if I do, I'll be doing reviews on them. Otherwise, I'm not going to be picking them up.
All right. I have an issue with that line is that DC doesn't stick to any kind of scale. It's 6.75 or something. It's like it doesn't fit in with any other figure line. So
I'm sorry, we had a coffee spillage.
Coffee down.
Iced coffee down, iced coffee down. So they don't kind of fit in with any scale. That's the Essentials collection, or is that the new thing that they're doing? Because they have like these icons.
It's the Essentials. They're too big.
They're just, what are they, 7 inches now?
They're just under 7.
Okay, here it goes. I got a blue one. Yay! The blue one means that it's this thing.
You win a Smurf.
I think I get a Smurf, right? It's this Living Dead doll. Again, a friggin' Living Dead doll.
Oh, we're plagued.
And yeah, we're plagued by Living Dead dolls in this house. So I could possibly enter into win her, but I gotta see if there's a code at the bottom of his foot. And no, there's no code. So actually, I don't even get to enter into that contest. I just get this little nothing. You get nothing. Thank you.
It's a butt plug.
I got a little. I got a little suppository. Okay, that's what I got. So I get the Mezco suppository. Anyone want the Mezco suppository? Comment on this video, and we'll send that shit to you next week.
Mike says they do fit in with the new 52 figures.
What these new DC Essentials?
Yeah, is that the new 52 figures for DC collectibles?
The new DC collectible figures. This is what I don't understand. Are the Essentials the new DC collectibles, or is it 2 different lines again?
I don't know. I'm just tired of buying the same characters over and over again.
Exactly. That's why
That's it too.
Because then what you're gonna do is you're gonna turn around. You're gonna buy the new DC Essentials figures. You're gonna get the Flash 2-pack with what's his face with Professor Zoom, and they're gonna look great. And they're gonna have the multiple hands. And then next year they're gonna reboot everything, and you're gonna get another Deathstroke and another Flash and another Reverse Flash, same character.
I bought Deathstroke I don't know how many times.
We didn't get Deathstroke for years in figure form, and now he's like, all right, enough with the Deathstrokes, bro. We got enough of them to last us a friggin' lifetime. So stick this in your pipe hole. What?
What is that?
What is what this?
Why?
This just comes random with a figure, and if you get one with a code at the bottom of its foot, I went through this on the video already, and then you can use this as a butt plug otherwise. Okay. Anyways.
So why bother giving out ones without a code? Why don't you just send?
Whatever, exactly. Everyone should get a code, but I guess if everyone got a code, then no one's special. The new Spider-Verse trailer. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I saw it a while. It's not that new. I saw it a while ago. The animation's interesting.
I kept myself out of this. I thought it looked really awesome. I think it looks fun. I like Miles as a character. I wish they would give him a different outfit and get him off of the Spider-Man thing now. But apparently, I don't know anything about the Spider-Verse stuff. So, see, I like DC, right? And DC has the multiverse. And I'm not too keen on Spider-Man having a Spider-Verse for some reason. And that's kind of hypocritical because I like the multiverse in DC, but not in Marvel, which makes no damn sense.
I was talking about this the other day because it takes away from Spider-Man being a local kind of a local what do you hero, like a city hero. Like I would say there's a city for those types of heroes with a regular fighting in the city.
So I like that version of Spider-Man. So this kind of takes away from that whole idea. However, I'm not going to see the movie, and I'm not necessarily boycotting it. I found out that the director of the movie, or one of the directors, is a fan of Antifa, and I do like to sell. I can usually separate my politics from my enjoyment, but I can't on this. I'm sorry, I can't support somebody that supports a terrorist group in America. So, and that's what they are to me. So it is what it is, and I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not trying to turn this into a political conversation, but I am not going to be seeing this movie. I'm not going to be paying for it. At least maybe I'll catch it on a bootleg or something because. I think money to this.
Yeah, me too. It sucks. So, but the word I was looking for was street level hero.
Yeah, he's a street level hero, and I like him as a street level hero.
So you kind of like bring the metaphysical weirdness into the character, and he works better as a street level friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. So
yeah, basically that's how I feel too. So as cool as the trailer looks, it's a no-go for me. There's been speaking of new movies coming out, the new Terminator pick came online.
Oh my God! All right, do you want in with this?
This will be the section of the thing where we talk about the new Terminator photo. So apparently Tim Miller is directing this movie. It's being produced by James. I thought James Cameron was directing it. He's not. He's producing it. He's acting like Godfather and overseer of this movie. And Tim Miller, the director of Deadpool, is going to be making the movie. And there was a new picture that surfaced online. I can pull the picture up for everybody now that hasn't seen it, which I'm sure everyone has at this point. I specifically saved this on my phone for this reason. That is the picture right there. And
Justin Bieber has been working out.
Justin Bieber, she's obviously a Terminator of some kind because you could see the lines in her skin and all that stuff. Yeah, whatever. This is the new Terminator.
One of these dumbass movies trying to make it all female.
Well, it's funny you mention that because that's another thing that rang in my mind immediately is that now it's getting overly obvious that Hollywood is getting too much with the
gender neutral stuff.
What happened?
The gender neutral stuff is really taking over.
I like the idea that my daughter is now having people to like heroes eventually to look up to, and she has like a rooting interest in a lot of movies nowadays. That's great. However, I'm starting to notice that my son is having, I don't even want to say less and less because he's, with the exception of like the Avengers and the Solo movie, every other movie that's come out that we've had any interest in going to see has had a female lead, which has been great, but it's been too much in that direction now.
Yeah, they're overdoing.
He liked the girl Ghostbusters.
He did like the girl Ghostbusters. That was cool. I mean, for him, I don't like the movie, but there was a female Terminator. Yeah, that was the third Terminator movie, Rise from the Machines. She was the Terminator, but it was fine. See, I like
cool, but that's just so obvious.
Yeah, it seems obvious. It was a bad pick that they used. The picture has agenda written all over it, in my opinion.
No, it does. And check it. She's front and center. She's in the center. Why not showcase Linda Hamilton's return and have her in the middle?
I think that like they're building up this whole the return of Linda Hamilton too much. I think she's going to be regulated to like B team. And she's just going to be there as some kind of like, mentor role, and that's it. I don't see her being like some kind of. I would love for her to play the action star that she played 25 years ago, but I don't think that's going to happen.
She comes out of a log cabin with a shotgun.
That's what it looks like. I saw the picture of her. When I first saw the picture, I was like, "What the hell am I looking at?" And then I saw the Linda Hamilton, and I was like, "Oh shit, it's the new Terminator picture." And I was like, "Wow, she looks really good." And the rest of the picture, and I was like, "What are they doing?" Really, like, I mean, look, I'm not going to go pay to see. I mean, another one I won't go pay to see so far. Let me see the trailer first. But based on this photo, I'm not. This didn't do anything for me. They should have showed like they want to get everybody excited for the Terminator because basically they're trying to pull in the old fans because they feel as though they've messed up so many times. They should have had like Linda Hamilton with like a cigar in her mouth with a shotgun or something.
They pulled back the old fans with that photo, man.
No, you alienate the old fans with this photo. They should have just showcased Linda Hamilton first and then said, okay, these are the new characters that are going to be joining her. You know, emo, exactly. Frankie Fearless writes emo. So, yeah, it has a very, like, it has too much of a millennial look to me in the photo. I don't think the photo is gritty and grimy.
Bieber and Selena Gomez.
I think the photo is a little too shiny and not as gritty and grimy as I'd like it to be.
Gomez?
No, it looks like Selena Gomez, but it's. I don't care. Look, I'm all for the diversity and all that, and women's lib. I got it. You know, it's cool. But this does not say Terminator to me. This says,
come on.
Well, this is the sequel to Ocean's 8 right here. So
That's horrible.
that's how I feel about the new Terminator thing. Do you have anything else to say about that, Mr. Amazing Larry? Thumbs down. I wish I had 2 more hands. So I give it 4 thumbs down. For those of you that like 1/6 stuff, Hot Toys is working on 2 new Hot Toys that have been asked for by the fans, and this was put up on the 1/6 collectors page recently, the 1/6 Republic. Somebody wrote they have good inside word that 2 Hot Toys that will be coming soon that are being worked on right now is Empire Strikes Back Han and Lando from The Empire Strikes Back. So the 2 of those are confirmed and will be coming within the next few months.
Wow. You getting those? Definitely?
What?
That's a definite buy for me.
Oh, yeah, no, totally. I need a Lando for this shelf right here. Okay, the Stormtrooper is just a placeholder. Stormtrooper comes out, Lando goes in, and Luke comes out, and Han goes in with his, because that's my favorite version of Han with the blue vest. And then this Luke gets put over here with the new Empire Strikes Back Vader that's coming out at the end of the year. And that'll pretty much complete, with the exception of C-3PO, my Star Wars collecting for Hot Toys is pretty much done after that. I don't really need anyone else. And I'm not getting the Emperor, if anyone wants to ask, because I was never really that big of a fan of the Emperor. I think the Emperor is cool, but not cool enough for me to own a toy of him. To me, it's going to be, I have Kylo Ren and Vader, and that's good enough. I don't need, I'm not getting anything from the prequels, although the prequel figures look awesome. They all look great. I'm staying strictly away from prequels 100%. But those are going to be 2 definite pre-orders for me. And speaking of 1/6 community and stuff, there's been a lot of intense hate in the 1/6 community this week. Apparently, there was a big thing that went down. There's some guy, I don't want to say his name, but there's some guy in the 1/6 community that's a real jerk. And apparently, he likes putting other people down and talking about how he has a lot of money for his custom collection. And if you buy Hot Toys, he makes fun of you. And he's a real a-hole to people in the 1/6 community, right? So he got into a tiff with the wrong person. And this person in the PMs wound up showing his PMs to all the groups, private messages that is, in Facebook, and then went to the Sideshow Collectors forum page, apparently, or it's not Sideshow Collectors forums, it's some other forums now. And he got everybody to team up on this guy because apparently this guy has gone on everyone's last nerve. And they actually started sending private messages to this guy's wife, and they were blackmailing this guy to the point where he supposedly, allegedly had to shut down his YouTube account because he did like reviews too or something. And they threatened this guy's job. And the FBI is now involved apparently in this whole situation because they went after this guy's wife. And to me, that is a huge no-no. I don't care how much of an a-hole this guy was. Family, kids, and wives and jobs are off limits, dude. I don't care how much this guy makes fun of you and says you have a crap collection and you buy Hot Toys so you can the toys that I can. It's nonsense.
Yes, the fact that the guy was a jerk doesn't excuse the links that the other guy went to go against him.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, that was like, okay, we're just gonna apparently we've had enough of your shit, so we're just gonna attack you like this, and that is not cool at all. I mean, I don't know if this is all alleged. I think that the beef actually happened because a lot of people were talking about it, and I think that the repercussions with the FBI is possibly alleged at this point, but the guy did have to deactivate his account and everything else. And a lot of people are like, good peace, good riddance. And a lot of other people are like, yes, good riddance, but you should not have gone that far. And to me, that is just like, that stuff ever happens to me, bro, I'm definitely calling the FBI and getting everybody I can involved because you can't do that to somebody, destroying someone's life over toys. As much as we want to think that, oh, the Red Cup review was cool and Rob and James know a lot of stuff and the people that join us know their stuff too and it's great. These are toys.
Yeah, exactly.
Cartoons and toys, guys. This stuff doesn't pay the bills. This isn't, it involves someone's family is quite ridiculous. And if anybody that's involved in any of those pages happens to see this or catch this on the replay, I would hope that if you're a member of the human race that actually has half a brain in their head, that you'd be against this type of behavior because that's completely reprehensible. That's all I have to say about it.
It's over toys, people! They're toys!
Remember that movie? It's just a car.
So the SLC Punk, the movie SLC Punk.
Yeah.
It's just a car. It's just a toy. It's like these are just fucking plastic, man, and not plastic man.
Like people that like brag about like their collection, it's so friggin' weak.
Man, no need to worry about that. Yes, thanks, Mike B. Yeah, no, that is kind of weak. I mean, I don't brag about my collection. When I show my thing, I always had a problem. The reason why I didn't even do this earlier is I didn't really consider going live and doing stuff like this. But I thought the whole idea of me showing my stuff off or taking a picture of like this shelf here or this shelf here and putting it on Instagram or like putting it in the Facebook groups and saying like, hey, look what I got. A little pretentious. I always thought that's not really me. And apparently people like that. People like, oh, let me see your collection, show your stuff off. And I get that now. So I'm kind of working through that at the time. But the idea,
you thought it was kind of like, oh, look at my stuff, like you're bragging. But no, it's just people are just interested in like looking at the stuff too, and just also like what other people like to collect is interesting.
You know what, Archie? What happened?
Getting like ideas for their own posing.
Exactly. No, that I understand. I had to come to understand that too. Is that people kind of look at these things for like posing ideas as well, which is why I get half of my posing ideas too. Normally, when I go to pose my figures, and like for a movie, I'll try to look like movie stills and maybe mimic the movie still, or I'll sometimes for these type of figures, I'll look at something that's completely unrelated. So, to me, if I want to get a Daredevil pose, sometimes I might look at a Spider-Man picture and try to put the Daredevil in the Spider-Man picture pose, so I'm not just aping the Spider-Man pose with the Spider-Man figure, just to kind of switch it up. But that's pretty much it, man. You know, it is what it is. Anything else you want to add?
It's cool, like the Snake Plissken in the background. It's cool to like to just look at that and go, oh wow, that's dope. That's a cool figure, or whatever. Like maybe I might get into it and buy one eventually, and maybe I won't. You know, so it's just it gives me an idea. Like it may open me up to get into something that I wouldn't get into on my own.
I guess there's a fine, not even a fine line, but I guess there's a definite line between being humble and being proud of what you have and wanting to show it off without being a show off and just being a conceited dick and being like, look what I got, look what I spent my money on. A lot of people get into this game for the wrong reason. Like I went and bought the DeLorean recently. I got a good deal on the DeLorean and the Marty McFly, which are older figures. But I'm not going like, oh, look, I got a DeLorean and look what I paid for it, which I didn't really pay market value. I paid well under market value for this thing.
Maybe if you got a real DeLorean that you could actually drive, that's a different story.
Oh, yeah. And even then I would be like, yo, look, I bought a friggin' DeLorean. But if I was going to ever own a DeLorean, I would want it to be jacked out just the way it is in Back to the Future.
And you would fucking put pictures of it and brag about it, too. Rightly so.
Well, yeah, exactly. If I had to think jacked out, but I wouldn't be like, look what I have and look what you don't have. It would be more like
loser. Hold on. RG says, "What's up, Robert?"
Nice. What's up, Archie? Metal sign forever, brother. What?
You put like smug hashtags. Life is good.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. But do you have anything else you want to say about the show this week? Anything else you want to bring up before we bring this thing to a close?
One thing that we didn't talk about is Venom related. I wanted to bring up the whole fact about how they're altering Venom's origin in the comics. There's now a symbiote god now.
There's a what?
A symbiote.
A god?
Yeah. They basically, in Venom 3, they introduced a symbiote god that is like father to all the symbiotes.
Oh, but he's still an alien, though.
Yeah. Well, actually, he comes from the primordial darkness. His name is Null. And he existed before time. All of a sudden, the Celestials show up and bring forth light into his realm of darkness with their experiments of creating life and planets and everything. And then he goes to battle with the Celestials. And he creates a sword called the Necro Sword. Right? Now, that same Necro Sword was used in a Thor, what's it called? Was it a miniseries? It was a story arc called Thor the God Butcher. Did you ever hear that?
Yeah.
Well, there's a character called the God Butcher that went around killing all these gods with a sword. So it's like retroactively tying into that. So they bring in Thor into the origin of Venom now. So Thor is tied in with the origin of Venom. It's kind of cool.
It all that sounded to me, which does sound cool, reminded me of like it seems like they're turning Venom into It, the character from It, like Pennywise, basically. This primordial demigod that existed in the darkness and then came out basically and is now on Earth. That's what I got from that whole thing, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because I think that's a kind of a cool origin for him or origin for that. It's not even Venom's origin. It's just that Venom, it happens to be part of this greater evil deity, I guess, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's almost like the devil.
Yeah,
no,
that is pretty crazy. It is kind of like the devil, and I guess like that would make the symbiotes like little like offspring demon, like demonites or something.
Well, they're all the symbiotes are part of this god's body. No, right? So Thor did battle sometime around, I think, around the Viking Age. Thor did battle with Null, and then cut off the symbiotes from Null, right? And the symbiotes all formed like some sort of like planetary mass around Null to imprison him. So the planet Clintar is actually the name for what you call it, the word cage in their language. So Clintar is not even a planet now; it's just a giant planetary mass of symbiotes holding back this god.
Why would they hold him back though if they're part of it?
Because when symbiotes gained sentience, they learned sentience. They became good. They learned justice and right and wrong from the humans that they attached themselves to.
Okay.
So then they saw Null as a threat.
So it's almost like it's almost like the how can I say this? It seems like the
Crafty, maybe?
first version of the angels leaving and be with the devil. It's almost like the reverse of that. So it's as if the Venom is more like the god, but he's the devil, and now there's like a broke off faction of like these symbiotes that are learning humanity. So it's like the good guy, the good version of that story. That's like how my brain is processing this.
But it makes Venom a bigger character.
That's cool. I mean, I know these stories evolve and stuff. That's pretty dope. I mean, I guess I'm down with that. I haven't really seen or heard anything from Marvel that I've liked in a very long time. So this sounds like something I might be interested in reading.
Yeah, check it out. Check it out. It's issue 4.
I'll wait till it hits issue 6 and then read the trade. I'm a trade guy.
Yeah.
So
that's what I wanted to cover.
All right, sounds good, man. As far as like stuff that I'm like looking at and getting, I want to, for those of you that are watching, if there's anything that you would like the Red Cup review to cover, what you like about the videos, how the videos, what you want to see from us, drop a comment, let us know. Follow us on Instagram at Official Red Cup Review. Follow us on Facebook, Official Red Cup Review. Subscribe, like, comment, and join the family and stuff. And let us know what you guys would like to hear in the upcoming weeks. And we're going to keep this going for as long as we can. You have anything else left to say, brother?
That's it, man.
All right. Me too. I'm kind of tapped out as well. So I want to wish everybody a good night and a happy Saturday and weekend. And we'll catch you on the next weekend's Red Cup Review.
Take care, guys.